Welcome to High Gluttony. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Becca, and we're two curious ladies who like to cook,
Smoke,
learn,
and enjoy a meal with friends.
We invite you to join us every 10 days or so here at the High Gluttony Homestead and listen to us make a mess
and have a lot of fun. So step inside, Gluttoneers. Gretchen, Becca, how are
Hello.
you?
Hi, hello. We're excited. Hi. I'm good. How are you?
We're so excited for this recording. Earlier this week, we were just like, I can't wait to do this weekend. It's all fun all the time. We are partying.
So much fun. We're in the holiday spirit. It's the thick of December, and we are making some classics. Gingerbread cookies and baked brie. Of course, we've got some spins on it and a few things we'll do a little bit differently, but it's going to be pretty easy, pretty fun. And that's what we're looking for right now.
Yes. 2022 has been a ringer of a year. We just wanted to do something light, fun, and exciting. We are in the mood for prosecco because we talked about it in the last podcast. Have a little prosecco again, like that party spirit, because these are our party foods. So we are holiday parties. Cheers!
Yes.
Clink, clink.
This is so much fun. Oh my God, we're so excited. Oh yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Well, so we're drinking some prosecco. We are excited about what we're making. What are you smoking today to help set our little relaxation party mode into higher gear?
I know this is a dangerous thing to do, but I'm still working on trying my joint. I'm doing a joint because I cannot be stopped.
Anytime you start with, this is going to be risky. This is going to be dangerous. It's like automatic. Gretchen's using a joint. Yep.
It's my homegrown stuff, untested, new harvest, and unknown exactly what I'm smoking because most of these buds that I have right now were from the earliest part of the harvest, which is just me clipping off stuff that's become like dying and being like, no, I have to save it. I have to save it. I might be smoking a total blend right now of things, but I've determined that it's likely that it's come from either what I'm calling plant number one, so something I grew from seeds I have. And it does smell vaguely reminiscent of the jelly bean. So it could be something that I grew since all of my seeds have a little bit of jelly bean genetics in them, I think.
Yeah.
The clone that my friend Tamara brought for me this year, which was called Mac, which is something alien cookies. Pretty good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, I like Mac. Yeah.
Me too. So far, so good.
The mystery blend is delicious so far.
So far, tasty. I did mix some Frida in there, so I've got my high CBD just to make sure things stay light and breezy today.
High sides high. We love your stuff still.
Yeah. Talk about it all the time. Evangelizing to other people. Always working on it.
That's true. So we said earlier you'd mixed in some Frida with your mystery blend joint, and you have a backup Frida joint, which we called your Frida chaser.
My Frida chaser, just in case things get a little out of control. And I'm taking it easy on this joint, but you know how I get sometimes. It's unexpected and it creeps up. Gotta be ready. Ready, prepared. We're prepared today.
Today's the day. We're getting ahead of it.
So let's stop talking about my weed and let's talk about what you're smoking today.
I am smoking some frozen margie flower from Anthology. Fun name. It's mostly limonene and then myrcene and linalool. Love that limonene. Feeling relaxed. Yeah, my body's feeling chill. It's 23% THC. That's a little bit low for me, and all of it's working together super well. So I need to get some more CBD stuff. I've been kind of missing my CBD balancers lately, but that's a whole different story. I'm feeling great. I'm super excited. We've actually already mixed up the gingerbread cookie dough because it does have to sit in the refrigerator for an hour. And so we got that mixed up. We'll talk you through that a little bit more later. One of the interesting ingredients to me that's gone in is molasses. And you have some fun facts from On Food and Cooking about molasses, right?
Yes, I do. What would the first thing you want to know about molasses be?
What is it?
I guess that's a really good question to start with. You're right. Molasses is a byproduct of sugar production. And for the most part, you're looking at a process where you're dissolving, like trying to remove the sugar from the other parts of either sugarcane or beets. That's where most of our sugar in the US comes from. And you do this by making a liquid with the pulp from whatever you're removing the sugars from, and then centrifuging that down and allowing the crystals to start forming. And then you centrifuge off this liquid that still has some sugars in it. And then you actually add in a new batch of a sugar mash type thing, drain that off, and you repeat that 3 times. So you do that one more time. And then the molasses comes from those repeated cook down process. So like it's boiling, it's being dehydrated all at the same time. And the molasses is that stuff that's removed from your white sugar.
So that's why it's so goopy. It's been like
Reduced.
triple, not concentrated, but like mashed down and liquefied and mashed down and liquefied and mashed down and liquefied. And it becomes so thick.
Right. At least from my very basic understanding. I don't have a huge grasp on the full process from just reading the few paragraphs from On Food and Cooking. So
Sure.
This is very general information on this that I'm giving.
That's all I'm going to understand anyway.
But yes, it's that repeated boiling of that liquid that gets it to that dark stage. Most of the molasses you buy these days is a combination of liquids from the various stages with a little like fresh syrup, we'll call it, added back into it. It's not like 100% representative of that byproduct. It's a formulated molasses to be more consistent because that's nice for baking and other things.
Yeah, and just easier production, I imagine.
Yeah, it makes it easier. Those byproducts have been used ever since they started making white sugar. Those byproducts have been used by humans for a wide range of things. These days it's added to animal feed. So it is getting used. It's a usable byproduct, which is nice that it can be used for many things.
It's molasses, right, that makes brown sugar brown.
Yeah, I was trying to get a better grasp on that as well because that was my understanding. And yes, it's sort of true, but usually it's not quite like molasses that they're adding back in. It's like those, maybe some of the earlier stage syrups. So like not like the molasses that we necessarily are using today is what's going in there, but it's like an earlier version of it. From what I was reading, that was sort of my general impression.
Okay, so, like a thinned down version a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the same, but not as we know it.
Right. Yeah. It's not like they're literally taking the stuff that we're buying in a bottle and adding that back into brown sugar. It's like an earlier version.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. What was the other thing that surprised you that?
It's used in tobacco curing, which shouldn't surprise me, but.
Interesting.
I know, right?
So it's a great way to use up what's a byproduct of the getting to the white sugar that shows up at the grocery store.
Yes.
And then even though it's used like in a lot of things like brown sugar on its own, it has such a pungent, distinct flavor that I have only used it like 2 other times. I don't use it very often. And just comparing it to like honey or syrup.
More complexity. It's coming from a natural product. So it's kind of like wine in that way, where depending on what you're using, it's going to taste a little different. You know, honey is, So, I mean, it's totally different thing. But that part of the flavor profile comes from that repeated boiling process and the various things that are in that syrup that are being changed by that boiling process, and that's what lends the various like flavors to it. There was a thing in here real quick I'm going to read about. All right, so this is from On Food and Cooking, and this is the molasses in cooking section. Molasses in cooking. The flavor of cane molasses is complex, with woody and green notes, as well as sweet, caramel, buttery ones. Its complexity has made it a popular background flavor in many foods. Popcorn balls, gingerbread, licorice, barbecue sauces, and baked beans are examples. Cane molasses is usually but unpredictably acidic. Its pH varies between 5 and neutral 7, so it can sometimes react with the baking soda and produce leavening carbon dioxide in baked goods.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? I didn't know that until I was reading that last night. Yeah. Isn't that cool?
Also, what a range of acidity.
Yeah. So I had not really ever thought about the fact that that would have a natural amount of acidity, but also I guess I would have never assumed that sugarcane could produce something with that high of an acidity, you know?
Sure, in the first place, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is the final part of that section because it's short. Thanks to its invert sugars, it helps retain moisture in foods, and a variety of components contribute to a general antioxidant capacity, which helps slow the development of off flavors. That's it. A fairly educational paragraph there.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It makes sense too why I wouldn't necessarily seek it out unless it's in a recipe because maybe I haven't had a consistent flavor every time.
Mm-hmm. It does seem to suggest that there's some variation between the different types. Plus, there are types out there that are mixed with corn syrups. They're,
Sure.
Varying qualities of products as well.
Hmm. I
Cat
wonder how
food.
much I'd notice it though.
Here's some other interesting, non-necessarily food-related stuff, but I was found this pretty interesting. So the word molasses comes from a late Latin word, miscellaneous, meaning like honey. So sort of like referring to that viscosity. And the word that's used in the UK, which is treacle, what?
I didn't know treacle was molasses. Like a treacle tart is molasses.
I kind of knew, but I didn't really know. And explained a little bit by the fact that there are different levels of molasses. And so I feel like treacle for me, when I visualize it, because they have like more like light corn, like light molasses and stuff like that. They have light treacle. I could have a whole discussion about the various syrups that are available in Europe, or at least in the UK, because I love them. I think the thing I was actually thinking of I always thought what treacle was, which I'm assuming it's a type of molasses. I kind of assumed that was what it was, but it's always more of a golden color. That would be like one of the earlier draws off of the
Boiling
sugar process.
add,
Yes, thank you.
boiling add. Yeah.
So I always
Okay,
visualized
so
it as like a light colored substance more than like really actually it is exactly the same as molasses. I was giving it credit for being slightly different. Treacle to me just seems like a light and pretty thing,
but it's molasses. It's like the
yeah.
molasses we use today, kind of.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
funny.
It's just a different name. But its name has really interesting roots as well. Treacle for the UK comes from the French triacle, is how I'm going to pronounce it because it's Triacle, which is rooted in the Latin word, oh, and here we go, Thiraca, maybe, which actually means antidote against poison. And they think this is partially because medieval pharmacists would use it as a base for their drugs. It was literally used as part of medicine for a long time.
How interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting too if that was used as a base for medicine, why people would associate medicine with like an interesting, sweet, bitter flavor. What else should I know about molasses?
I was just going to leave a final comment about the fact that we also make beet sugar in this country. And there is a molasses that comes from that, but I guess it is grosser, which I am not surprised by because I don't know how I feel about concentrated beet flavor.
Yeah. Beet can be tough. I like beets, but it still has to have the right application.
Apparently, animals will eat it though, so they use it a lot in animal feed and other industries, was the only other thing it said.
And quote, other
Other
industry.
industries.
Very cool. I did not realize how much sugarcane got used.
Oh, yeah. Sugarcane's kind of all over the place. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Uh,
Molasses, not honey, not syrup, totally its own thing. Pretty cool.
a human byproduct, though. Like you would find it in nature. This is not an apocalypse food. Okay.
We can't make our gingerbread cookies if we have no production from molasses. I gotcha.
You can make similar things, but it's not going to be exactly the same.
Sure. Well, so that's it about molasses then.
Yeah, I think that's a good primer. We could dive way deeper into a bunch of shit, but it was all very technical, and I decided that it wouldn't really apply to what we gave a shit about. So.
That was perfect. That filled in a lot of holes for me, and I feel very smart about molasses now.
Great. Should we go make cookies?
Perfect. Well, should we talk through ingredients?
Oh,
first?
yeah, we should probably do that. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
You're right. We should probably tell them what goes into our various things we're making today.
I'll start with the gingerbread cookies since we've been talking primarily about that. The recipe comes from bhg.com, and these are Santa-sized gingerbread cookies. Mostly, I picked this recipe because it wasn't one that had like multiple steps of like rolling it out, refrigerating it, shaping it, rolling it out. There were all of these like gingerbread man cookie, I think, or like those like shape ones were just like such a process.
These are not construction cookies, okay? These are
yeah, soft, chewy gingerbread flavor cookies.
Yes, exactly.
So it's 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 2.5 teaspoons of ground ginger, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/8 teaspoon freshly grated nutmeg, a dash of ground cloves, 3/4 of a cup or 1.5 sticks of softened butter, 1 cup of packed brown sugar, 1/2 cup of mild flavor molasses, 1 egg. We are going to make powdered sugar icing for those, and that's going to be 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1/4 teaspoon vanilla, and 1 tablespoon of milk. And like we said, we have already mixed all of that up just because it does have to refrigerate, and Gretchen will talk about those steps in just a minute. But then for our baked brie, which we are also super excited about to eat as dinner, we are using 2 sheets of frozen, well, now thawed puff pastry.
Yes, we went store-bought this time, everybody. I did contemplate making my own, but I did not have time for that this week.
I was like, I have 2 full boxes still from the last time we made pastry, puff pastry, and I was like, just in case it goes wrong, I'm gonna load up on the frozen stuff. So we're using frozen, very exciting for me. And then it's 2 tablespoons of honey, 1/3 cup of dried cherries that need to be roughly chopped, 1/4 cup of chopped pecans, 1 teaspoon of chopped fresh rosemary, and then 1 16-ounce Brie cheese round. This about 6 inches in diameter. I couldn't find a 16-ounce. I think mine's 13.5 or 14 or something. And I was like, that's fine.
I actually didn't even pay. I had a hard enough time finding a Brie to use for this. Like I found wedges like of soft cheeses. I could not find a round. I went to 2 stores and then ended up with a very expensive like Marin farm cheese. Very, very expensive dinner for me.
Yeah, good thing it is dinner.
It's dinner. Don't know if I should eat this much cheese, but it's dinner.
Locked in now. And then 1 large egg, beaten with 1 tablespoon of water. This is for the egg wash. Can I do water?
Just water?
Yeah.
I don't think.
No.
No.
Poo. Okay. Fine.
Not enough binding agent. We understand the importance of binding agents because of my bunny treats that are not
That's right.
bound.
It's not just for color on the top?
No, this one in particular, well, I think it is. Yes, it does help with the color because you're also using it inside to help seal the pastry. The egg is important.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, yeah, you do. I gotta mix up an egg then.
Well, that's fine. I haven't mixed mine either.
Okay, phew. And then an egg with a tablespoon of water beaten.
Yes.
Okay, so Gretchen, can you talk me through the gingerbread cookie steps?
Our high level steps are first mix together your dry ingredients, so your flour, spices, and baking soda. Mix your butter with brown sugar and molasses. We're going to beat that until it's lighter and fluffier, but it's still going to be pretty dark and not too fluffy. Then we mix that with an egg until it's all well combined. Slowly mix the dry ingredients into the butter and egg mixture. Refrigerate for an hour, then roll it out, shape, and bake.
Awesome. And so we're at already that refrigerate. We're almost 1 hour into that full refrigeration time period. So we have done all that. So when we get in the kitchen, we're basically going to get that dough out of the fridge, roll it out, cut our cookie shapes, and then bake it.
Well, no, because we're going to make our baked brie first. Since we're working with puff pastry and puff pastry needs to be cold, we want to put it back in the fridge for a little bit before we bake it.
Talk me through the brie steps.
So we're going to start by rolling out our puff pastry and then cutting it into a circle that'll fit our brie cheese nicely. Lop the top off of our brie. Set the brie on the pastry circle. So we've already mixed together our pecans, cherries, and rosemary to make a topping to go inside of this. Then we are going to drizzle some honey over the top of the brie, and then we'll add on that pecan, cherry, rosemary mixture. Top with another sheet of rolled out puff pastry. Then brush with egg wash around the sides. Seal it together. We're going to make some little decorations for the top. And so we'll brush the top with the egg wash, lay our decorations on, and then put that all into the fridge for until we're done with the cookies. Because we're going to have to raise up our temperature on our oven. So we've actually turned our oven on to 325 degrees first, because that's what our cookies want. And then after we're done baking our cookies, we'll increase the temperature on the oven and get our baked brie out, put it in the oven, and bake for 20 minutes.
Perfect. I don't have my oven on, so I got to do that first thing when we get in the kitchen.
Yep.
You said 325, right?
Yes, 325 for the cookies. That's because we've got all that molasses. It's a dark colored cookie. So you want that like a little bit lower temperature oven just to make your life a little easier. Because if it's too hot, you're going to risk burning because there's a lot of sugar in there.
And these are big cookies.
Big cookies, yes. So it's a low and slow situation. I mean, not super low, but lower than most cookies.
Pretty low, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get it right. So when we go into the kitchen, we're going to get our brie and our puff pastry out of the refrigerator, and then roll out 2 sheets of puff pastry first.
Correct.
Okay. Should we go into the kitchen?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I sprinkled my surface here with a little bit of flour and then put my puff pastry down. And I'm rolling it out gently. I don't know. I should have got my cheese out. I think that's enough rolling. My cheese is called the California Original Marine French Cheese Company. And this is their triple cream brie. Rich and creamy.
Yum. That sounds so good.
Right?
Mine's just the like alouette kind.
That's what I was looking for.
Are you using a pizza cutter to make your circle?
Yes. Okay. My very poor circle. That's why it sounds like I'm wearing spurs over here.
Go to the OK Corral.
I put my scraps back in the fridge so that they're easier to work with when we go to cut out our decorations later.
Let me get my second sheet out.
Getting it out.
This one's like More frozen.
Can you unroll it, or is it really frozen?
It's kind of really frozen compared to the other one.
Uh-oh.
Why?
Is it,
I guess it was more in the back.
is it folded?
Yeah.
What's it look like? Can you show it
It's
to me?
Yeah, still in the box. It just feels really frozen.
Are you using Darfur too?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, nice. We're using the same
Uh-huh.
kind.
I used to work with this vendor at Williams Sonoma.
Oh, of course you did.
Isn't that funny?
Yes, very funny. I like it.
I guess I'll just put it back in the fridge.
No, get it out.
Oh, get it out?
Yeah, get it out of the box. And what I would do, this is going to sound really weird, but kind of just like run your hands over it like this.
Oh, kind of like warm it a little.
Just like to very gently warm it and then see how pliable it gets. Like as it starts to get more pliable, like just work on easing it apart. And then if it cracks at all, we'll just use that as your bottom piece. Like,
Sure.
And hopefully it'll warm up pretty quickly, at least to the point where you can do what you need to do.
Okay. What if I used the scraps as the top instead for now?
I mean, I
Like
guess you
reform
could.
it?
It's still, so what you would want to do is stack them, try and get as much of the flour out as possible out of in between, stack them up together, and then roll them out really gently as well as you can would be the best way to do it.
Okay. Well,
Or you could just patchwork on the top.
Scrap
Oh, yeah, actually,
like that.
you could do that.
So I'll take this off. Even the simplest things just somehow end up complicated with pastry. Okay.
Why pastry is not for everyone, let me tell you. Yeah, then I would take a little bit of like egg. Oh yeah, actually that works. And maybe just make them in the middle, like overlap, like press them together lightly, like try and get them to sort of hold together. Yeah. And then yeah, use your other part for the top. Look at that. And then you've made it with one sheeted Darfur extremely expensive pastry.
Wow. Okay, so this will be the bottom.
Yeah, that'll be your bottom. That looks great.
Yay!
Nice. I'll have to make well, I'm going forward with my very expensive pastry, so.
Yeah, go. And then cut for the cheese, are you going to cut off the smoother part or the more, well, do you have like a ridged part from the wrapping like I do or no?
Yeah. So let me this is the top and this is the bottom.
So the smooth part is the top and the wrinkle part is the bottom.
Yeah.
So we cut the top off.
Yeah, I think so. I'm almost wondering though if we do want to cut the bottom off because there's more real estate. Yeah, it's thicker. So I think let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm just going to repeat everything you say today. So.
Well, but also we're already like, let's just do it this way.
Oh, it's really good, Brie. Holy shit.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay, now I got to make my egg wash.
Okay, I got to do that too.
So I'm brushing all around with my egg wash around my Brie.
All right, so at this point you've got your Brie. It's headless and it's in the middle of your one puff pastry circle.
Yeah, it's assless if you really want to go that way, but
there you go. There you go. Okay, I gotta get my egg out because I had to put them away with the hopes that I could just get away with water. But
I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault.
I don't create. Oh my god. I needed a bigger container. Use a bigger container than you think, Becca. Don't make the mistakes I've made.
For the egg?
Yeah, it's all over my kitchen.
Oh no. Okay, let me get a big bowl. Okay.
Like I just dropped a hole all over the floor. So.
Oh no. Okay, one egg, huge bowl, 1 tablespoon of water. You have your assless Brie in the middle of one circle of dough.
Yep.
And you're egg washing the edges around it?
All around it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put my top on.
Okay.
Oh, I still didn't see how big my cheese was. Hold on a second. Oh, I have an 8-ounce Brie. Okay, so this is actually for like a bigger wheel of cheese than this. This is going to be interesting. I have so much puff pastry left over right now.
I don't have anything for decorations, so that'll be
Oh.
sad.
So we've got the opposite problem here.
Uh-huh.
I have way too much.
You're only gonna have decorations.
Kind of, yeah.
Covered in decorations.
Absolutely covered in decoration.
Okay, I've egg washed my edges.
And go ahead and put your top on.
Okay.
And then just kind of try and press it in so that it's formed around the cheese. I actually had to cut off my excess so that I could push it in a little bit better. Putting it on my sheet pan.
I had to trim too. It was pretty big in some corners where I had folded up, you know.
Mm. Oh,
now I have scraps.
Oh. There you go. So you can make something.
Yeah. And then did she do a little fork design?
Around the edges? Oh, I'd have
Does
to
it
look
matter?
again. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
I mean,
doesn't matter.
it would theoretically, yes, help seal the edges together even better. So, but
I'm just kind of poking it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That works too.
And then this goes into the refrigerator.
Yeah, yes. And we can make our decorations and put them on after it's in the fridge.
Cool. Okay, so our puff pastry dough goes into the fridge then, and we're going to get out our gingerbread cookie dough. How big are these again?
Oh, 1/3 cup portions.
You don't have to roll it out.
Nope. I just grabbed 1/3 of a cup to measure that out. Good God, these are huge.
They're giant Santa cookies.
Now it's stuck in the measuring cup. I'm going to weigh this to see how big it is. 1/3 of a cup, it seems like a stupid way to do this.
Like a little over 2 ounces or something.
Let's see. 2.6 ounces is what I've got over here.
Okay.
I measured out my 2.5 ounce balls.
How much of your dough was it? Like half your dough? Or
what do you mean?
Like how much of your whole is left?
Well, I've measured it all out.
Oh, I see.
Are you asking how many cookies did I get out of it? I guess.
I didn't know you'd measured it all out. But how many cookies did you get?
I was measuring, yes. I got 13.
Cool.
A baker's
and
dozen.
How many fit on your baking sheet?
4. I'm going to fit 4.
Okay.
Because they're so huge. I feel like if I put any more than that on the sheet tray, they'll just turn into one big cookie.
One big flat cookie.
The instructions say that they're supposed to be 4 inches apart. And that's a lot of real estate.
Mm-hmm. And 4 inches from the edges or just each other?
Just each other.
Okay.
You'll have flat edges if they get all the way to the edge. But I'm hoping with as much space around them as I've got, it'll be fine. And since I only got one sheet tray out to be ready for cookies, I'm going to put the rest of my dough back in the fridge.
Perfect.
Bake them later.
How long can they sit in the fridge for?
I would say a couple days at least.
Cool.
And if you put them in the freezer, maybe a month.
Wow. I like the consistency.
Yeah, I think they're going to be good. I clean off my Silpat to make my decorations for the Brie.
How's the spacing on my
that's good.
Balls?
Yeah, probably a little bit better because you're staggered, but...
Okay, then did just squish them down?
Yep, I flattened them out a little bit. Well, I guess that's kind of a lot.
And these bake for 15 to 18 minutes?
Yes.
Okay. Are yours in?
No, I was waiting for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Okay, and you're making we're making leaf-shaped things for
really, any shape. Yeah.
Any shape. My scraps got a little bit of the egg wash on them. Is that okay?
Yep, that's fine. Although she had having us make a ball of the dough to put in the top of the thing. And I was like, why would I do that? I feel like that ball would take forever to cook.
Yeah, and then you just have a big dough ball at the top.
Like a brick of dough at the top. So I don't think I'm going to do that in particular.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the shapes are entirely up to you. You could just do like little stars or
circles.
Yeah, I was like
triangles.
And other things that are shaped like things.
What are shapes?
If you did end up doing like a smaller, like less inches in diameter but taller piece of cheese. You could make it look like a pumpkin too.
Oh, fun. Mm-hmm.
If you were doing it for other earlier in the fall holidays, I guess would be the way to put
Sure.
that. Making like little vines to go on mine.
That's fun. I'm just kind of making spirals.
Sweet. I like it.
I don't know what else to do. I tried to make a shape or a leaf, and that was.
You're like, no.
No. What else can I do? Twist it. Okay, so our cookies are in the oven, and we are going to take out our refrigerated brie and pastry.
Yeah.
When do we put the toppings in?
Oh my God.
This is easy. We can separate it from the bottom.
Yep, that's what I'm hoping.
Oh no, I don't know. Okay, let's see.
Mine's kind of working.
Okay.
It's working. Only because this is cold is this working. If this was warm, this would not work. Oh my God.
I mashed all my sides together.
Okay.
Okay.
Option 2.
Okay, I think I can get like at least half up.
Okay. Well, hopefully this is not way more honey than they wanted on top of there.
2 tablespoons.
Sure, 2 tablespoons,
Yeah, sounds good. Oh my God. I just saw it was like, oh no, that's not that. How do we
That's
do
not
it now?
supposed to be there.
Yeah. Woo. Oh my God, how satisfying to get this up.
Well, now I'm glad we didn't fork around the edges, but I'm thinking we might want to now. So
Yeah, we might have to.
I do have like a pie wheel, so I might use that. Well, I think that was one of our bigger mistakes that we've ever made. But
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
whoops. At least we didn't get to the like after we baked
All the
it.
way?
Really, yeah.
Commence resealing. Oh, 1 minute on the
Oh, that's.
cookies.
Oh boy. Oh, they big.
Oh, they're big.
Oh, they're big. Be baking cookies until the end of time over here, though, like with all those cookies I got.
Let's see if they're done. I think they're done.
Let's see how mine are. I mean, they look pretty done.
Actually, I might need another minute. Well, how soft in the middle are they supposed to be?
I don't know. Mine are pretty.
Do not overbake, it says.
Push in a little bit, but they're not squishy.
This one's a little squishy.
Yeah, yours look pretty puffy in the middle, so you might want to give them another minute or two.
And then it does say cool on a cookie sheet for 10 minutes. Mine's going back in then.
Oh, on a cookie sheet, not for 10 minutes. Okay, that's easy.
A different cookie sheet?
No, the same one, I believe.
Okay, good.
You're looking for some carryover cooking in that case, is what I'm gathering.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to switch over to raise the heat on my oven now, even though I've only done 4 cookies, but we'll come back to the rest of the cookies later.
So you're going to go to 425 in preparation for the brie.
Yes.
Should we put our brie back in the refrigerator now that it has the toppings to set a little more?
Just until the thing goes off.
Okay, getting my cookies out. I do not want to overbake, but they're not puffy anymore. They kind of cracked.
They drooped
a little in the middle. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I will match now going up to 425 on my oven too.
Okay. Oh, my oven just got to 425.
Okay, me too. Let's go with brie. Okay, brie's in, and now let's make our icing, right?
So the icing is supposed to be 1 cup of powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon plus some extra of milk, and a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. You put in your powdered sugar, add your vanilla and 1 tablespoon of milk, and then just add a little bit of milk at a time until you get a spreadable consistency.
That sounds easy enough.
Yeah, I think so. I'm trying just to make a very small amount, and so I'm gonna like literally put a splash of milk in there. The tiniest splash. And I'm pouring from the jug, so I'm making my life really easy.
Perfect.
My cookies are just cold to the touch.
Okay. Your icing's mixed?
My icing is mixed, and I am drizzling it on, kind of spreading it onto my cookie here. It is a more spreadable consistency, not a drizzling consistency. 1 gloriously iced cookie.
Time to taste?
Time to taste.
Okay.
Might have gotten
Oh,
my icing slightly thin, but oh well. Mm. Oh, oh my God.
I love the texture. There's like the tiniest crunch on the
Uh-huh.
outside, but it's so
Yeah.
soft.
Yeah. It's really good.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I feel like it's making me chew slow and savor it because it's like such a delicate crunch. I'm like, I don't want
Yeah.
to miss it.
I don't want to miss that initial blush of crunch. Oh my
It's a
God.
good flavor. I can taste
Yeah.
everything, but nothing's standing out competitively.
Mm-mm.
Mm. Mm, that's good. What's the time left on the brie?
7 minutes. Oh, mine's puffing up beautifully.
Like a little snow globe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't get it sealed.
You got a hole? You got a gape?
I got a gape.
Oh no.
I have a whole bunch of cheese that has just come out one side.
Oh no. Get back in, cheese. No.
Funny thing is I left the little like scraps around the sides that I cut off, like to make it more round. And so
Mm-hmm.
one of them is just like providing a barrier right up, like it's not like touching the other thing. But there's a barrier of pastry that's like holding the cheese into one area on the sheet pan. So it's actually not terrible because there's just like a puddle of cheese on one side of my brie. One side's beautiful. The other side has just leaked all kinds of cheese.
I can't tell if the backside has leaked anything. I see a little bit of like oil or cheese on the left that's like bubbling
Yeah,
on the
that's where mine is too, on the left.
left. Why?
The left side.
I love this cookie.
I know the cookie is so good.
Mm,
Like I've never been a huge fan of ginger cookies, and now I'm like, I think I'm a fan of ginger cookies.
same. I don't like the hard ones. I think we've talked about this before. I don't really like hard cookies, and I feel like they were always hard.
Yeah, especially if people are making like gingerbread men.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 minutes, 2 minutes,
2 minutes. That sounds good.
1 minute left.
It'll still cook a little, right?
Yeah, it will still carry over a little bit because mine is like the side that I was thinking wasn't toasting as much has gotten a little toasty on that edge. So
Okay.
yeah, turning it
So,
around was a good idea.
okay. So are you pretty toasty all around with just some pockets of doughy, or what does it look like for you?
Mine, yeah, looks pretty toasty all around. The side that's on the left now is the side that's sealed. And so it just
Uh-huh.
looks kind of light on the one side. It does look a little doughy. I might give it another like 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I have a few thicker sections to
All
make
right.
sure it's cooked.
220 is what I'm aiming for here on time. I'm not going to reset the timer because it feels like it'll take me 30 seconds to set the timer itself.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, it smells so good though.
mm-hmm.
It's cute. Mine's a mess, but it's cute.
I don't know how much cheese is actually going to be inside mine by the time it's done.
That's so sad. And you used 2 sheets.
Yeah, but I didn't really get it. I must have not pressed as hard on that side. I must have pressed on the other side a lot harder to get it to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
219.
So then it still has to cool for 45 minutes. I want to taste it, but I have to remind myself we're not even close to tasting it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to time travel a little bit.
We will be in the future for the final tasting. Oh my gosh, we've been waiting not patiently at all to eat this.
No, I've definitely tasted a little bit. I broke off some of my levy pastry there and ate it with the stuff that it oozed out. Yours definitely looks a lot prettier than mine. Mine is very flat and sad.
Did stay intact. And I had all that extra doubled up folding on the side, so it was like a real thick wall.
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I could have baked mine longer. The bottom is not, I have a bit of a soggy bottom.
Oh no. Tap, tap, tap.
Mm-hmm. Not so good.
Flavor-wise delicious. And I did end up baking mine for probably another at least 8 minutes.
Mine needed to stay intact and could have gone a little bit further. So I say I failed, but yours looks amazingly successful.
It did stay together, and that's
Half the battle. Half the battle.
that's really good though.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fun thing to make kind of in the morning and then have to munch on throughout the day on like a holiday day.
I can see that.
Because I don't feel like I can eat that much at a time.
I've had my fill. It's rich.
Yeah, a couple bites and I'm like, well, I'm gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
Where's my drink? But super tasty, pretty easy at the end of the day, especially if you remember all the steps and start off with the right amount of ingredients. That can always help.
It does help. Really does.
Gingerbread cookies though,
Smashing.
Just everything I wanted it to be, but didn't know I wanted it to be.
Right? Oh, this is what gingerbread cookies are supposed to be like.
Yeah. This is why people like them. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we figured it out. I don't know if you said this on air, but it makes your house smell so good too. It's such a fun thing to make in batches.
Exactly. Put them in the freezer, bake them a few at a time. Fresh
And they're
cookies.
big.
And
Yeah.
they're big. Yeah. It's like one cookie is definitely enough for like a very nice, a couple hours. Yeah. It's like 2 people, but I was like, not really for 2 people.
Well, I loved it. This was such a fun one. And I learned all about molasses. No
Off
further
we go.
questions.
Yeah. Oh, like and subscribe. Follow us on
right.
Facebook, Instagram. Tell your friends, please. And thank you.
Yeah, they're locked in with you over the holiday season. Make them listen.
Yeah. Put this on in your holiday mix. We are here for the holidays.
Think of us, we're probably drunk and high.
Yep. And high. Yeah.
Good
Very
bet.
important. Yep.
Okay, off we go.
Off we go. Who knows? Off we go.